non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Because when you have Dalvin Cook, when you have Adam Thielen, when you have Justin Jefferson, potentially still having Captain Kirk Cousins, man, they have pieces already in place. Defensively, they have pieces in place as well. Hopefully getting Daniil Hunter back and some other guys. Man, this is a team that's ready to win right now. They're ready to win right now. And if you're able to get one of the more coveted names over the last few years into that organization, especially the offensive mind that he is and he has been, I think this would be great. This would be a big-time hire for the Minnesota Vikings.
Some Vikings optimism from CBS Sports HQ there on this Write That Down Wednesday. Let me pop this up on the screen for the YouTube audience here. Purple Daily, daily Vikings entertainment. It's Mackie Judd, our executive producer, Declan Goff. And before we get to Write That Down predictions, a shout out to TCL, one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands, with a new lineup of award-winning TVs for you to watch playoff football on this weekend. Stunning resolution at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. So, boys, the Vikings are going through all of these GM and head coaching interviews the last 3 days or so, and more today, on this Wednesday, tomorrow, Friday. This is a nugget from Aaron Wilson, NFL reporter. He's covered the Texans and the Ravens over the years. Does some work for 790 Sports down in Houston. And he tweets, Kansas City Chiefs Executive Director of Player Personnel Ryan Poles had an impressive interview with the Vikings, per a league source. He has a second interview today with the Giants for their GM opening, following the Bills' Joe Schoen also had a second. So he's a finalist for that Giants job, and I believe that's going to be an in-person interview, I think. But, Ryan Poles is someone that we've all kind of identified and said, all right, if he knows how the secret sauce is made in Kansas City, and if he's a great leader and a player evaluator, okay, let's move him toward the front of the line. So an interesting report that his interview was impressive with the Vikings.
And so he's going to be talking to the Giants for the second time, probably in person on
today,
Wednesday. Okay,
yes.
Interesting. Yeah. The issue, especially with GM candidates, that I find is it never leaks out when the person is really bad. So, like, I'd love to know, so-and-so talked to the Vikings, and I got to be honest, the person was a complete dud. No
total train wreck, unprepared. Bad breath. It was
over
great.
and over his or her head. What the hell were they thinking? So, yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but I guess, because what we've got, I think, with the Raiders now, 4 GM openings. I guess I'm curious what the race is like there. Like, are the Giants going to pull the trigger shortly? And the Bears, are they going to slow cook this a bit more? It's such an important job that like, we're all in a hurry for things to wrap up, right? Get your guy, get your gal, but you got to do it. You got to do it. And it's like, okay, yeah, but if you do it quickly and screw it up, guess what? You're going to be criticized, and in 2 or 3 years, going back to the same exact well again. So this is a tough one, because, I mean, this is going to be the person that has a lot of final calls with your franchise. And if you don't get it right, you're going to regret it really quickly.
Yep. No need to rush it. There's plenty of interesting candidates out there, at least resumes and on paper. And so the more this kind of plays out, I'm okay with the Vikings' meticulous approach here. And other teams have also been meticulous, even though other teams have gotten a head start on the interview process. It's not like there's been 5 hires of GMs and coaches. So we'll see how this continues to play out. All right, Dex, let's get to the main course here. Write that down.
Most make predictions and then never admit they're wrong. Yeah, that's not Mackie and Judd. This is the place where we just totally own our horrible predictions.
Write this down.
And eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Write that down.
It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackie and Judd.
Yep. All right, this is where you guys always want to know, when are you going to admit that you were wrong about blank? Well, every Wednesday. We're pretty much the only show in the country that actually keeps track of our predictions on Mackie and Judd with batting averages and home runs, and on Purple Daily with completion percentages and touchdowns. And so we're still, because the 2021 season is not over yet. And anything that was a 2021 season-long prediction, like MVPs or Super Bowl winners or whatever, all of that counts to the 2021 stats. We're still counting some of the predictions. So you're gonna see 2021 predictions coming out the board.
Are you saying the count is still going on?
It's still close enough.
I'm in first,
yes.
and I'm going to tell you right now, I'd prefer you stop the steal.
And you're looking for, you're looking for a very like Deion Sanders. You're a two-sport athlete. You've already won the batting title, and Mackie and Judd write that down, and you're going for the completion percentage title here.
And I am prepared to lash out in any way necessary and make it as ugly as possible if I feel I've been wronged.
I'm going for, meanwhile, the touchdown championship. I'm one behind the listeners, and I had one prediction. It was a touchdown prediction still on the board that came off. So we'll see what the drama unveils here. But let's start with the accountability session here with Judd. So you had nothing come off the board for your 2021 slate yet. So you still have 6 throws remaining.
Okay.
And just for the audience here, so Judd predicted Stafford would win the MVP, Carson Wentz comeback player of the year, Jamar Chase offensive rookie of the year. He's
That'll
a finalist.
Hit. That should hit.
Hopefully will hit. Cousins will get an MVP vote, so that's kind of what's on the board for Judd.
That's not going to hit.
For 2022, this is going back a couple weeks. This is our first accountability session for 2022 here. You had a Super Bowl prediction. You said the Packers and the Patriots would play each other in the Super Bowl.
God.
That was our
very
I
quickly.
believe that was our bonus one during 4-Question Friday when we were put on the spot.
I deserve to be mocked for that now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots didn't lose. They got humiliated.
It was bad. The Buffalo Bills in their last 2 games against the Patriots, 20 possessions, 0 punts.
It's awesome.
You know why, Phil? Because nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
That's right. That's right.
Football.
You said Kellen Mond will take snaps against the Bears in what was, I think, supposed to be kind of a gimme, but no, it wasn't. You said Zimmer would not return in 2022, but Spielman will.
That went sideways.
But you did redeem yourself. You said Nathaniel Hackett will interview for the Vikings job. You did. And that Clint Kubiak will not be the Vikings offensive coordinator after the season. Now, technically, he's still under contract, but we're just going to.
Well, and he didn't. And I made that prediction quite some time ago, right?
Yes.
I don't think that was a late, obvious one at the time.
No, that was even maybe before the season.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you made that prediction.
All right.
All right, I had my lone prediction left for 2021. I was 1 touchdown pass behind the listeners, and I said the Patriots will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
You're as wrong as I was.
So congratulations to the listeners. You are the touchdown champions. We'll show the stats here shortly. For 2022, I said, oh, my God, how did he not turn the ball over at least 3? I said Big Ben will turn the ball over at least 3 times, and the Steelers would get smoked. They got smoked, but somehow he avoided interceptions and
should have avoided football.
The next gen passing target stats for Big Ben in that game was absurd. I think only 5 or 6 throws past the line of scrimmage. It was insane, dude. How it was bad. I'm with Judd for this one. I know the fluttering football, the bad memories of quarterbacks. That's a bad one for Big Ben.
Yeah, dude.
I will remember this. This is not going to. I'm not going to celebrate his years.
So when you think back to Big Ben's career, you're only going to think about
when he's
the
standing
last month and
up
a half.
there at 400 pounds in Canton. I'm going to think that slob was terrible at the end.
He is going to get big, isn't he?
Oh, he's going to be massive human being.
Yeah.
Unless he decides to get in shape, I'm going to put him at 350 by the time he goes in the Hall of Fame.
Do you think he'll do media? Or do you think he'll just kind of disappear?
I think he'll disappear. He strikes me as the type of guy who one is rich enough that the only reason why he would indulge in media is because he A, loves football, or B, attention. I think he'll go hunting. But I said the same thing about Moss, and I was totally wrong. I thought Moss would be long gone after he got done playing.
Yeah. I also said the Vikings would not fire Zimmer in the last 2 weeks of the season, which was right, but I parlayed it with another team will hire a head coach before the Vikings fire Zim, and I don't think that's happened. It certainly didn't happen in the last
couple
weeks.
It's not happened. You're correct.
This right here is one of the worst bad beats in the history of Purple Daily. Write that down. I told you guys early last calendar year, like, I don't know, whenever this was, like after they signed Dalton and whatever, I said by the league year of 2022, the Bears will have missed the playoffs. They will have fired, it's supposed to be Pace and Nagy.
Yep.
And Andy Dalton will have thrown at least 10 interceptions. He had 9.
You didn't get it. Oh my God, Phil! And why did you throw that in?
I don't know, dude.
Like the first three,
because I'm throwing down the field here.
Those on the field.
I got to be honest. If you hadn't put the Dalton one in, though, I think that's still a touchdown.
It is. I know.
Like it's a
9. He had 9.
It's a trifecta. Oh my
and I'm sure there had to have been like 5 other throws of his that like rattled around defenders.
But it's a weird thing to throw in there because like those first 3 are.
Thanks, Judd. I know.
I don't know.
What are you doing?
No. I think honestly,
Like, why
I
are
don't
you
think.
an idiot?
Talking this one out, I really don't think that would have been a touchdown with the first 2 because we all were expecting that even in the summer and lead up. So I'm sure we baited Mackey and say, well, put something in there.
You probably
put a
did.
third thing in there. That's probably what
guys.
happened.
Yeah,
it's probably what happened.
So I almost feel like we need some other category to show how spot on this prediction was, even though it was incorrect.
Okay.
Ridiculous. I did say Kellen Mond would not be active against the Bears. I don't think that's a touchdown. Because Zimmer, like the week before, Zimmer was like, yeah, he's a clown show.
That's not a touchdown, no.
All right. Listeners had 3 things come off the board from 2021. All of them were wrong. Kendrick's first-team All-Pro. So I want to clarify something here. There was an NFL.com All-Pro list that he did make first-team, but the official All-Pro, it's the AP All-Pro.
AP, it has to be AP.
And he did not make the AP All-Pro first or second team.
Yep, then he's not.
So that was wrong.
Yep.
Jay said the Vikings will have at least 3 defensive All-Pro players. That did not happen. And Brady said at least one NFL team will miss the playoffs by 1 game because of a COVID forfeit or because their quarterback missed the game because of COVID. Actually, the second part of this.
That's what I was going to say. Did anybody?
Because the Vikings.
The Vikings. Right? The Vikings, right?
Yeah, but do you get?
I think this might be correct.
But yeah, that's a tough one.
The Vikings lost to the Packers.
Right,
I mean, they probably would have lost anyways, but right.
Wait. Didn't the Vikings finish with 8 wins?
Yes. We'd have to go into like tiebreakers.
But then the Eagles were the last team and they had 10 wins. So the Vikings would have missed the playoffs by 2 games, right?
And then the other question here is, are there other teams?
That's what I was going to say. That's that's going to take some research.
I should have done this. I'm sorry. I kind of looked at the first one. Oh, there was no forfeits here. It's
hard to quantify the second part unless we can prove statistically from, like you guys just said, tiebreakers.
Well, let's go through here real quick. Did Carson Wentz miss a game because of COVID?
He was going to, and then I think they changed the rules, and he didn't, right?
Yeah, yep. Did Tua didn't miss a game because of COVID? I don't think.
Yeah.
Herbert.
If Brady is listening, what I would say is, number one, when did Brady make this prediction? Because if he made it in the spirit
before the season.
Right. Was it before the season? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going through here real quick here. So the Saints are weird. So Jameis was out.
Oh, Eagles were.
You know what I think we should do?
Let's review this one.
I think that and if Brady can show us that he has evidence, send it in, and the committee will sit down,
review the evidence,
review it, drink about 5 Surleys apiece, and then come back.
Yes.
The high court of Write That Down, which is made up of Phil, Judd, and Declan, honorable judges, never cheating.
I like it.
Honorable.
Brady, we need you to state your case.
Yes. We or anyone else. We need help here. That's what
Or
we're
if
saying.
Brady's got like a girlfriend or a wife or something and she wants to chime in, that's fine too.
So for 2022 predictions, the listeners had a few things come off the board here. Ryan said all of the Vikings third-round picks, so Mon, Davis, Surratt, etc., will not see the field until the fourth quarter of the game. Well, most of those guys, if not all, just flat didn't play in that game.
Held hostage.
Yep. Hunter said Kellen Mond will start week 18 and win. Incorrect. But Frank said among Zimmer, Cousins, Spielman, at least this was like early in last year's calendar year, at least one of them will be gone by the start of the 2022 season. They all might be gone. And Bob B, I think this is a touchdown. He said Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman will be fired by the beginning of the 2022 season. A full house cleaning is a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and Rick was expected back.
Yes, he was.
So Bob B saw through that crap.
Yep.
Good for Bob B.
Declan, you said there will be a report that the Vikings request to interview Will McClay, and I tried to block this prediction because I thought Judd was essentially reporting as much, but as it turns out, they didn't even get to the point of being able to request him because the Cowboys signed into a contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings will hire a new GM by today, you said. But you did say Jefferson will catch a touchdown against the Bears. The Raiders will make the playoffs. And a 3-game super wild card weekend parlay.
This is a
Pretty good here.
touchdown.
It is a touchdown. Yep. Bucks,
okay.
Niners, and Rams all
Want
win.
That's why my
that
touchdown
is-
credit.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a touchdown. I mean,
It's
it
a
doesn't
touchdown.
say it, but it's a touchdown.
I definitely counted it
Okay.
as a touchdown for you.
Declan got very upset there. Briefly.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
And so with that, here are the 2021 season stats. So Judd, you have 6 throws left. Listeners have 3 throws left. Declan has 1 throw left, and Judd clings to a half percentage
So I still have
lead
6
in the
throws
completion
left?
percent. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're both tied at 7 touchdowns. Judd at 35.4% completions. Declan at 34.9. I am in the clubhouse at 30.1 and 14 touchdowns. Listeners, 26% and 15
Listeners.
touchdowns.
Congratulations. You are the touchdown champions.
Nice job. I thought I had that too. God, that was a great
You
race
did.
for that touchdown, right, man? And then for this year so far, Declan leading at 60% with 1 touchdown. Listeners at 50% with 1 touchdown. Judd at 40%. I'm at 25% on the season. So there you have it. Whew, that's an accountability
this
session
down.
right there, boys.
A lot of work.
A lot of work there.
A lot of work by Phil Mackey.
Before we get to our guest listener predictor, Matt, let's shout out our friends at Surly Brewing Company for keeping us hydrated during this playoff football month of January.
They do indeed, and as I said, when the Supreme Court of Write That Down meets, they meet with wigs on, with gavels in hand, and with in front of them a nice pint glass and a Surly. And you know what? The official Write That Down beer. It's not just Surly Brewing. It's Surly Brewing's Furious IPA, the best in town. So, like, if there's a discussion, I mean, sometimes these WTD meetings go on for hours. There's so much to discuss and so much to work through. And I got to be honest, at that point, the judges get thirsty. That's where they start to mix in Surly Furiouses left and right. And they drink responsibly, but they drink well. You should too, Surly Furious.
Love it. Also, a shout out to our friends at Chill Boys and chillboys.com. The most comfortable underwear you will ever strap on. What is one word to describe how Chill Boys are making you guys feel today?
Outstanding. Just outstanding.
Snug. Nice and snug.
Thanks,
in the
Randy.
words from Randy in Cottage Grove. Nice and snug. That's how I feel in my bamboo fabric of my
See,
children.
I don't feel snug because I feel like I can breathe so
But
well.
it's snug. It's snug in a good way. Like I feel snug.
I got you. Okay.
I'm going to say comfortably snug. Comfortably snug.
Thanks, Pink Floyd.
Yep, it's great. If you want to strap on the most comfortable underwear that you've ever had on in your life, no exaggeration, chillboys.com. It's a Minnesota-based company, but you can find them online at chillboys.com. All right, let's do this. We're going to get – so guest listener predictor Matt is currently in his college class, I think at the University of Minnesota. And so he sent in his predictions via satellite because he's being a good student. I think I would have skipped out. I think Declan would have skipped out,
Oh,
Judd for sure.
God.
But Matt is a better
I would have
student
dropped out by now.
than we are. And he has sent in his predictions via satellite here. So let's get to Matt's first prediction.
What's going on? Write that down. Matt here. For my first prediction, I'm going to go for it a little bit. Start off strong here. I'm going to say that either Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson will be the Broncos' starting quarterback week 1 of the 2022-2023 NFL season.
Reckless speculation.
Matt knows how to play the game. Matt
From
knows how
the
to play
dorm room.
Love
That's
it.
a long 3. Good for you, Matt.
Love it. All right, Judd, your first prediction today.
All right. It's not going to be that reckless, but I'll say this: the Packers are going to beat San Francisco, and Devontae Adams will catch at least 2 touchdowns. So the first part not surprising. Second part, though, I will say Devontae will catch 2 touchdowns in the game this weekend.
Okay. His press conference that floated around yesterday was interesting. He was talking about why he's like good to the
with the
media and stuff.
Yeah.
Some good,
He's a good
smart
dude.
receivers in the NFL right now.
Yeah, he's a
Some
good
empathetic receivers. All right, Declan, your first prediction.
All right. I will say there will be a credible report. You tell me if I can actually put this on the board now that I'm reading this out loud, too. There will be a credible report that John Spytek was a finalist for the Vikings GM job. A finalist. That fine?
Yeah, they're going through their first round of. Unless Judd disagrees, there's no finalists have been named yet.
I would prefer that you say his name correctly.
John Spytek? What?
The name's Spytek.
Spytek.
John
Spytek.
Spytek. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's very fair.
I envision him with like a bow tie, a James Bond
Monocle?
martini, a monocle.
A monocle. Oh, let me look at the roster here. Spytek here.
Yeah, why were you hesitant on that?
Dex.
Just because we had the report from the other reporter from earlier in the show, and
That was about polls.
That was about polls. Never mind.
And just
I don't know.
went
I was
well,
making
too.
sure. I was just making sure.
But this needs to be finalist,
Yeah.
which is
finalist.
cool. That's fine. Yeah.
Finalist.
Write
Making
this
sure.
down.
All right, write this down. The Vikings' next general manager will be one of these 2 men: Ryan Poles or Spytek. John Spytek. Write it down.
Johnny Spytek.
One of those 2 men will be the Vikings' general manager when it's all said and done. The next general manager.
Write this down.
All right, Matt from his dorm room via satellite. This is his second prediction.
Sorry, I couldn't make it, guys. I have class right now at the U of M. Speaking of that, hashtag fire Fleck, PJ Fleck, fake coach, not a good coach. But my second prediction will be that Jamar Chase will break Justin Jefferson's newly acquired record for receiving yards in the first 2 seasons next year. Absolute stud off the record. Might be better than Jay Jets in the long run, although I hope not.
I love the drive-by.
Hold on a second here.
Take in there.
Okay, I want to know something. What class are we being skipped for? Because if you're going to give us just this quick fire Fleck, like I want you on the show to explain it. Like
That was an amazing
this is a
drive-by
college
take right
kid,
there.
though.
Great one.
But I mean, this is a college kid. They're supposed to love Fleck, I thought.
Well, Fleck is
love to know more.
he's the best Gopher football coach since Murray Warmath in like the 60s.
Well, but like if you're going to make that prediction, skip the class and tell me.
We're going to need, Matt, as you watch this back, we're going to need an update for next week's Write That Down via satellite. We need like a 60-second PJ Fleck take from you. We need you to flesh this out for us. And we'll run it on next week's Write That Down.
And Matt, Sports Dad's not mad or angry. He's disappointed.
Wow.
I'm disappointed in
Oh
Matt.
God, I always hated that. My
Like,
mom
what
said
are
that
we
to me.
being like? If this is a class that is going to help him graduate complete, like if this is the last, like if he skips a lot and they told him, Matt, you skip again, you're done.
This
here.
is mid-January, man. This is
But
the
if
most
this-
irrelevant time. Like you
Yeah.
can catch up on all the coursework.
but
you
you're
can cram
skip-
in March.
You basically skipped a class and sent us a huge hot take. I'm so disappointed.
I used to sit in class and play online poker for hours. You know, I traded A's for B's, and it was the best decision of my entire life.
You're lucky you had online when you were in school because we had notepads and we liked it.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, back to Judd. Your second prediction.
Okay, I'm gonna make a write that down prediction that is probably not going to come true or be false soon, but I think it's worth it, and I think that we are on the verge of something like this happening. Catherine Rach, who is an executive with the Eagles, who has I believe interviewed with the Vikings a couple days ago, will be named an NFL general manager within the next 3 years.
Okay.
So I don't think she's going to get this job necessarily, but I think she's going to get, like, this is going to happen at some point in time. And she sounds like she's impressive and really well prepared. And so I'm going to say within the next 3 years, Dex, that Catherine Rach will be an NFL GM.
So by January 19th, 2025,
she'll be a GM.
The expiration date.
And we might not be doing this podcast. I might be dead, but she'll be a GM. And good for her for that. That's awesome.
Write this down.
All right, Dex, your second prediction.
All right, I'll swing for I'll not swing for the fences. I'll push the ball downfield for this one. Raheem Morris will be the next Vikings head coach.
Nice.
I'm gonna buy this. I'm buying stock on this.
Interesting.
He snuck in here as one of the latter interviews after the initial 7. I think Raheem Morris is gonna be the next head coach of the Vikings. My gut is telling me something here.
We're going to expand on Raheem Morris in a bonus episode today, so be sure to check that out. We've got there's some interesting thoughts floating around about Raheem Morris. And it's a name that's been out there because he was a head coach before. I think a lot of people are like, that was kind of a train wreck with the Bucs 10 years ago, and so people are just out. But
write this down.
It's worth discussing further for sure. Okay, write this down. So Rick Spielman went on the Moving the Sticks podcast yesterday with Bucky Brooks and Daniel Jeremiah, and he was great.
Yeah.
He was much more open, and he showed a ton of humility, and he talked about his failures identifying quarterbacks and sort of the why behind it. Like he's kind of figured out why he wasn't great at identifying quarterbacks. And he talked very openly and honestly about it. And it was a great discussion. Write this down. Mike Zimmer will not go on a podcast of any kind at any point between now and the new league year. I would love to hear Mike Zimmer do what Rick Spielman did, which is get out, talk about things. Mike Zimmer I'm saying that he will basically just like keep his head down. Maybe he'll get a job of some kind, but he will not do a podcast of any kind between now and the new league year, which is like the second week in March.
I was going to mock you completely, but the only one that I could see, McAfee.
No, I don't think he'd tolerate McAfee.
Yeah, no, but they might be, but I don't know that they could be friends. I don't know. There could be a relationship there.
I was thinking, Moving the Sticks is a great safe zone for coaches and players.
Yeah.
But McAfee's like the Zimmer zone of, I'm going to have a couple of drinks and then I'm going to cut open a vein on McAfee. And McAfee, I'll give him credit. He's good. But I think there's a problem with, he didn't ask the right questions. The journalistic, he's not a journalist.
I'm gonna expand this because I feel like you think it's controversial. I'm gonna say radio show, podcast, or TV show.
Oh,
just to be clear.
So he can't.
Between now and the new league year, Mike Zimmer will not make an appearance. I could see him being like sending a text to a reporter or an email or getting quoted.
But if he does a guest,
if he does
a guest spot,
if he does a guest spot,
and
again, like, is there a chance he could go on, the Voice of the Vikings radio show? Like, I'd say there's a pretty good chance that happens at some point.
That'd be the leader.
I don't think it does. I think he's going to, between now and the start of the NFL league year, no podcast, radio, or TV for Mike Zimmer.
Okay.
It would be in his best interest to do some because of the negative perception right now.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Write this down.
Coach.
Yep. All right. I think we're back to Matt and his third prediction via satellite here from the U of M.
And finally, for my last prediction, just a heads up, I'm probably one of the biggest Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ fans in the entire world. Judd, I know you were at the game against the Vikings when he was back on the Browns, and Baker Mayfield underthrew him for about 3 touchdowns, maybe 4. No lie there. I'm sick of this guy being slandered. He's been having to play with one of the worst QBs in the league. And I'm happy that he's found his home, and finally now we're seeing the talent that he still has. So with that being said, this is my touchdown for the day. We go with Rams are going to beat the Buccaneers this weekend. Packers are going to beat the 49ers. So when the Packers and Rams play to get to the Super Bowl, the Rams will win at Lambeau, and OBJ will have a touchdown in that game. All those things got to happen. Let's go for the touchdown. Baker Mayfield sucks. Thanks, gentlemen.
Yes, dude.
Okay, that young man has to appear on this show at some point live.
I love it, dude. Matt swinging for
How
the
can
fences.
a guy who is like that good and like that progressive in sports takes put class before us?
Progressive sports takes.
Matt,
yeah, dude.
what
Are you in like a chemistry class?
What are you, like, who's more important? some professor who's got some highfalutin stupid degree, or Declan, Mackey, and Judd who have degrees and hot takes. But Matt, great job.
We should
That was
teach
awesome.
a hot take 101 class or a clickbait 101 class
Clickbait 101
at the University
class.
of Minnesota
You guys actually could teach some good stuff on how to
on clickbait.
Yeah.
That's
do
not
this job.
clickbait.
No.
It's not clickbait.
How
We
to do
always
this
pay it
job.
off with good content.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying you guys could teach a class on how to do this job. I'm not kidding. I'm not being a dick.
How
thank you.
social media engagement rates work. I can yes, that's
And also
that
just how
works.
to sort of format things, I think, is the key thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's very
Write this down.
I was being sincere there.
Go ahead.
No, it
Steve.
was. It felt sincere. Yeah. Okay. You know what else is sincere? Your weight loss over the last few months.
That's a very good point. And that is not thanks to Mackie. It's not thanks to Declan. It's thanks to my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, down 30 plus pounds. And now I want you to join me on a weight loss journey that by springtime can have you feeling great. And now you're saying, okay, Judd, tell me more. I want you to join me on the Livia I Did It 8-week challenge where you get your first 8 weeks for free. Now, just to put that into context, I'm down 30 plus pounds. In the first 8 weeks, I dropped 26 pounds. So we're talking about you dropping 26 pounds for free. How do you do it? Call 855-GO-LIVEA or go to livia.com, livea.com. By the way, consultations available no matter where you are. So if you're in town and can go to a location here, that's great. But if you can't, let's say that you're in Florida and you're like, well, Judd, this sounds great. Yes, you can do a consultation online, livia.com, livea.
Love it. Love it. Also, a shout out to our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been helping business owners for over 100 years. Find out about the tools, resources, and people that they can provide your business to maximize it and to minimize risk potential. Federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect
Write
yours.
this down.
All right, one more lap around the room here. Judd.
Okay, I asked this question of Alex Boone on Tuesday, and I don't think he shot me down, but he explained that Deebo Samuel, in carrying the ball now as much as he does, is so strong that he's a bit of a freak. But I still look at the opportunities and say, I think the Vikings are going to come up with a lot of creative things. Offensively, I think this team should be fun. And so write this down. Justin Jefferson will have 10 or more rushing attempts next season. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but for his position, it could be. And I don't want to go crazy, but I think he's definitely going to get the ball. And I don't think it's going to always be run a go route. Justin, do what you should do. So Dex, 10 or more rushing attempts for JJ next season.
You got it.
Okay. All right.
I like it.
Declan, your final prediction?
Write this
All right,
down.
my final prediction. I do have the Niners in the Super Bowl. I was mocked for having them make the runs through all three stages to get there. They obviously beat the Cowboys in the wild card round. Now they have to go into Lambeau and potentially beat Aaron Rodgers in what could be his final game as a Green Bay Packer. But I will say this, very simple. The 49ers will beat the Packers in the divisional round.
Wow.
I'm just going to keep going down
went
this
Schefter.
train.
You just went full Schefter.
My sources tell me
My
the
sources tell me
49ers will
I
beat the
did go full
Packers.
shift.
You
Aaron
went
Rodgers
full Schefter. That was
0-4
great.
against the 49ers in the playoffs.
Keep in mind, they beat the Cowboys last week.
I like it. I like it. All right, final prediction here.
Write this down.
Write this down. At some point before this year's NFL draft, either Mel Kiper, whose 1.0 mock is out today. That's right. We have a Godfather mock 1.0 today.
Love it.
Either Mel Kiper or Todd McShay will mock a quarterback to the Vikings in the first or second round.
Oh,
I think they do like two. At some point, they do like a 2 or 3 round mock. So they
Yeah.
will mock a quarterback to the Vikings, one of them or both, in the first or second round.
I like
Okay.
it.
Write it down. So he's got. We'll do the mock on a bonus episode, but he's got no quarterbacks in the first 10 picks.
His first
which is
10 picks
interesting.
are very intriguing.
I would be shocked, even in a weak quarterback class,
Yeah, I agree.
if there's not a quarterback drafted in the top 10, especially after like Senior Bowl,
Combine and pro days will change
Combine.
it.
Like Malik Willis's
with you.
stock is going to skyrocket once scouts
somebody's
get
will for sure.
stopwatches on him and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
So all right, let's actually let's wrap this episode here, boys, because we got to fire up a bonus episode
Write it down. You like writing things down.
and talk about Raheem Morris. So be sure to check that out daily Vikings entertainment, speculation, therapy. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. That's really all there is to it. See you guys.